He reminds me of the guy that
My dad is on the jersey.
Good evening, Shelton. How y'all doing? Give a hell yeah if you're ready for some comedy tonight. There we go. My name is Rick Larkin. I'm going to be your host tonight. Thank you so much for coming out to Comedy Night at El Serape. Let's give it up for Shelton. Tonight, I want to give you guys a little info. The production company is JokeMastersComedy.com. So if you enjoy what you see tonight and want to see more, there's up to 10 shows per month all over the state. Great comedians coming on. So please keep an eye out for that. Check the website. You can get a discount off tickets by buying ahead of time. So it's always nice to save a little money, right? Yeah. Let's give it up for El Serape hosting it. But most important, let's give it up for yourselves for being here tonight. I don't see a single mask out there. Do you know how good that feels? I can read your emotions by your facial expressions, right? Good Lord, it's been a while, right? It's good to be out in the woods with that. We're in Shelton, still kind of in the woods, but it's good to have the mask up. I can see that you guys are having a good time, right? A couple things. So the show tonight, this is live stand-up comedy, and I'm going to speak to all the way back there that's around the corner so I can see you too. You're still part of the show. We got you back there. So with live stand-up comedy, there's going to be a lot of opinions expressed here that are not representative of El Serape itself, or necessarily the production company or your town. So I'm going to encourage you guys to treat this like a field trip to an art museum. And what I mean by that is we're going to an art museum and you're going to see stuff that you're probably, I don't like that part. Okay, fine, let it go. We don't get out of our chair and rip down the art, right? Right? We don't do that. We move on to the next exhibit and we digest and take in what we like, and then we buy some posters of it at the end and we have a great night, right? That's what we're here. We're here to have a great night. We're here to have laughter. It's been a long week. It is Saturday. We are free to the weekend, so we're going to have fun tonight, okay?
All right.
I don't know if any of you guys saw. Woo! There we go. That's the energy we need. I don't know if you guys saw what happened to Dave Chappelle recently, or before that, what happened to Chris Rock. Yeah, so Chris Rock got slapped on stage. Dave Chappelle got dang near tackled on stage, which for a comedian, he had pretty good agility. He fell, but he almost didn't. Like, he almost survived that. But if you look at what happened to his attacker, did anybody see the picture of his busted arm, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say that was an ass beating for two. Will Smith didn't get touched, so that guy got the brunt of 2 attacks on him. As far as I'm concerned, he needs to send that bill to Will Smith for the medical bill to get reimbursed. So yeah, we're not going to do that tonight. And y'all look like a lovely crowd. We're here to have fun, okay? So we have a great lineup, an amazing lineup. We also have a special edition. Jeremiah Hughes, a local talent, is going to be coming up right after me. So you're going to get a tidbit of his material. He's also going around. We have the drunken tenor, Robbie Mack, a Grammy Award-winning operatic singer who's going to be doing comedy for you tonight. And then we have the amazing Gabriel Rutledge, who's from this local area, has been all over the place. So we have a lot going on, okay? So I was going to talk to you guys. We have a sponsor for this show tonight. And the sponsor is really focused on helping us grow our financial wealth. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys just a little pitch about that. I need financial assistance because I'm more of a financial ass. I need some help at that. So does anybody want some free stuff? Who likes free stuff? So I'm going to hand out these cards. Sylvia Campos. I'm going to give them out here. If you can, take one, pass it on, keep it. If you're interested in growing your financial wealth and all that fun stuff, I'm going to hand these out as I'm coming back and forth. So I'll be making it rain on you guys, okay? All right. Make it rain with these cards. You're going to be handing them out. Now, like I said before, my name is Rick Larkin. That is not my government birth name. My government birth name is Richard Arlen Lund III. And I changed that. Because at a certain point in my life, I realized that if you're going to be a deadbeat dad, the last thing you should probably do is name your kid after you. And that's what my father did. He named, so like I changed my name, right? And so when I had my son, I learned by not having a dad what to do, and it's very simple. The first step is just freaking be there. That's a very important thing. Let's give it up for dads out there who are there, right? Very important. And with my son, I really tried to, I didn't want him to have the same name problems I had, and so I'm there. But also, Richard is a long name. It is, there's a lot of nicknames, Rick, Richie, Dick. You can call me a dick, and it's actually okay. It's not offensive, right? So I named my son something short and simple, 4 letters, because I didn't want him to have to worry about it. There are nicknames to it, but what I didn't count on was I was going to have to communicate with everybody in my life about transporting this kid back and forth from places. So now you can read one of my texts or hear me just talking and hear me say, oh, I'm about to drop Jack off to the library. I'm about to drop Jack off to school. Like, it didn't work. I kind of messed that one up. It kind of sounds like I need a restraining order from a school zone talking like that, right? I totally messed that up. I'm a father of 2. I've got a 9-year-old and a 12-year-old. And my son, Jack, he's hilarious. We like to crack jokes with each other. He likes to mess with me a bit. I mess with him back. We recently did a road trip from Washington to California. And on that road trip, we stopped in Oregon to get some treats at a bakery. We walked into the bakery, and it was one of those bakeries where it's like the feminist, like farm-to-table type of bakery, right? Like all the women were bald and working behind there. The type of place where if you bite into the pastry and there's a hair in it, it probably came from their armpit. One of those places, right? And he's still young, so we went to the bathroom, and I went in with him. And we're sitting there, and he's going to the bathroom, and I'm being a good dad, just like helping him out, right? And above the toilet, there is this big sign, and the sign says, real cows, and it has a big black and white picture of a cow, eat grass. I'm the dad that puts my thumb over the GNR and makes him read it out loud. So the real cows eat ass. Dad, what the hell? Right? Now he got me back, because on this road trip, he waited until it was dark at night. We were in the middle of the mountains to say, you guys know what I'm going to say, right? Dad, I gotta use the bathroom, right? Dad, I gotta use the bathroom. We're in the middle of the woods. And I said, I go, don't worry about it. There's a gas station up here. We're gonna take care of it. He goes, but Dad, what if they're closed? I said, it's a gas station. You gotta trust your dad. I got you. They're gonna be open, right? So we were driving there, and I was gonna tell you guys, there's a little thing where my kids ask me stupid questions. There's no such thing as a stupid question, right? But when he asks me a stupid question, my response is, does a bear shit in the woods, right? So he was kind of like, are you sure they're going to be open? I was like, does a bear shit in the woods? He's like, yeah, they're going to be open. So we pull up to this gas station, we park, we get out, we're walking up, and it's closed. So now I'm a failure as a dad, right? I'm like, hey, don't worry, I got your back. And I looked at him, and he's fine. I said, you know, bud, it's time that you learn what guys do when we got to go to the bathroom, and it's closed, right? Follow me around the corner. So we start walking, and he's hesitant. And I look back. He doesn't know what's about to go down. I say, hey, just think of it as recycling. It is okay. He's okay. So he follows me back. We get back there, and I pull my zipper down, and I'm going to the bathroom. And I look over my corner of my shoulder, and this boy is shitting in the bushes. He is pooping in the bushes. I'm like, well, I guess I'm teaching you about farming because we got the fertilizer. We went straight from recycling to farming. We get back to the car, and I asked, I was like, are you okay? And he was like, yeah, we're good. He kind of learned from that. We started driving. And I said, he asked me another question, and I said, does a bear shit in the woods? And his response to me was, no, but I do. So he's learning from his dad. He's learning from his dad. Now, myself, I grew up very poor. Any poor people out here? Well, no, I meant like used to be poor. Oh, and poor still. It's okay. It's okay. That's why I'm going to hand out these business cards, because we're going to go up, right? We got to go up. I grew up poor, and it's not the type of poor where it's like living in the projects poor or cockroach poor. I grew up suburban poor, which was a whole different style. I grew up KFC poor, and quite often when I say that, people are thinking about Kentucky Fried Chicken. No. I'm talking about Kmart, food stamps, and Costco envy. That's my KFC poor. I had Costco envy of my neighbors having bagel pieces. Like the treats that I never had as a kid. That's a legit thing I had envy over, right? The only thing in bulk we had in my house were powdered milk and government cheese. Yeah. And if you've had powdered milk, you'd rather snort the stuff than mix it with it. It's not going to get you a high, but. And then we also grew up food stamps poor, and not too many people know what that is anymore. Everybody has these undercover broke-ass cards called EBT. You get in line and you're like, yeah, it's a Visa. I'm paying for it. It's not government money. I'm good, right? We had government monopoly money.
Yeah.
It came once a month in a booklet, and you'd have to lock it, and there was no way to hide that. So that was embarrassing. And the other thing we grew up was Kmart poor. Kmart is a store that's not really around anymore. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, take Walmart, take the dollar store, pretend they had a birth defect baby. That's what Kmart was. Kmart was the place, and my mom once a year religiously, she'd say, hey, we're doing our Kmart run in the middle of summer. They want in the middle of summer to get all our school clothes. She let me get birthday presents, Christmas presents, all that stuff. I was like, wait, the Christmas presents come from the firefighters every year. Why not? She's like, don't worry about it. Someone laughed. They know about getting Christmas presents from the firefighters. Yes. So we would be in Kmart. You're good. We'd be in Kmart, and I'd load everything I want, get all the Power Ranger stuff I want, get all. I'm a '90s kid, right? Desert Storm action troops, right? Throw them in there, and we'd be walking out to exit. And I'd ask my mom, "Can I get an icy?" And the answer was always no. And I didn't understand because I'm like, it's $1 for an icy and like $500 for all this crap. There's a disconnect. I was like 10. I knew there was a disconnect here, right? Something's wrong. And then I learned that we were Kmart layaway poor. Anybody remember layaway? Yeah, layaway. Lady walks up with a little ticket, fills it out, and all that stuff goes to the back, and you don't get to take it home with you. Talk about being a depressed kid. That's actually how I ended up walking into school with outdated MC Hammer pants and a JoJo Siwa t-shirt. Talk about embarrassed. By the time we paid some of this stuff off, right? I think the JoJo Siwa t-shirt was my sister's, but by the time, I don't know. That's part of the reason why I quit high school, honestly. I kind of lied. I didn't quit, they fired me. They've been fired. It's kind of like when Will Smith quit the academy, right? He quit? No, bro, you were about to get fired and you just headed on out. So that's my bit about growing up poor. Part of that story, I told you guys that I grew up without a dad, which means I also grew up with a single mom as a parent. And being, any single moms out here? Woo! There we go, yeah. I grew up with a single mom. And I learned a couple things. The first thing I learned about single moms, and it's embarrassing to say in relation to my mother, but they're DTF. They are down to have some fun. What are you guys thinking back there? We're down to have some fun, right? I had a younger brother and sister by different dads, so I knew what was up. But also, they know how to parent their kids and discipline their kids, because they're the only one there to do it. And I a lot of love and respect to that. I'm part of who I am because of my mom. Let's give a round of applause for moms out there working their ass off. But my mother was a different treat. She had an arsenal of weapons that she would use against her kids. And I was the oldest of 3, which means I was the experimental child. I was the kid, like, let's try this new intervention and see if it works, and then pass it down. So there were a couple favorites. She loved wooden spoons. She loved them until they would break. Wooden spoons break, right? Yeah, I got a nice tough rear end, don't worry about it. Those wooden spoons break. And so the scariest time around my house was when we heard that Sally the Tupperware lady was coming. So my brother was like, Mom's about to re-up. She's going to get a new arsenal. So be all scared, like, be good, be good. And I'd look around the corner and I could hear her talking to the Tupperware lady like, yeah, I need durable spoons for cooking. You don't need it for cooking. You're going to beat my ass with that. What are you talking about? And she wouldn't get the solid spoon. She'd get the spoons with the slaps on it. So when she whooped my ass, I'd have little marks. And if I moved too much while it was happening, it would look like my ass was about to trend on Twitter with a hashtag. Or you could play tic-tac-toe on it, right? My mom also one time did this thing called the switch. Any abuse survivors of the switch? Oh, see, this is an outdated practice, and usually there's only 2 to 3. I had like 3 times as many people acknowledge the switch. There's a trick as a parent you can play on your kid, which is tell the kid to go pick their own switch. Dollars to donuts, they're gonna walk out and pick the skinniest, thinnest one, which is what I did. Bad mistake. I'm supposed to pick the bit. I was like, that's smaller. It's not gonna hurt, right? It's gonna be okay. And then my mom, whenever she would catch us swearing, she did the classic wash your mouth out with soap. And it's a little traumatizing, like, hey, open your mouth and bite the soap. So I started doing the thing where I'd clench my teeth together so she couldn't get in. Kind of like being a woman on a sketchy first date. Just keep your mouth shut and nothing will go in, right? Like, I'm just like, keep my mouth shut, it's gonna be okay. She would grind it in. Single mom lost her patience, I get it. But what I didn't appreciate was she upped her game and started investing the money from the Dial soap to the freaking Irish Spring, so I'd have to taste the perfume in it. And by the time I got it out, I'd walk around the corner and she'd look at me and say, "Top of the morning to you, sonny boy." Rubbing salt in the wound for this shit, right? So I'm like, oh my God, Mom, you're killing me. My son was actually acting up the other day, and I try a lot of non-physical interventions because apparently that's child abuse. I don't know, it worked for me. I turned out pretty good, but can't do that today. But I pulled out an old idea. He was acting up, and I said, "Jack, go get a switch." And he instinctually turned around and ran away. I couldn't tell if he knew what I was talking about or if he was just trying to be good all of a sudden because it was a new intervention. Like, he just took off. And by the time I turned around and looked back, he pulled up his Nintendo for me. His Nintendo Switch. And it's embarrassing to admit, though, but that hurt him a lot more than a branch was going to hurt him. Looking at a kid with a Nintendo Switch might be the way to go. It was kind of twofold, though, because his ass broke the glass on the screen, so now he can't use it either, so he's kind of grounded. It was perfect. All right, so part of my job, guys, as host, is to kind of gauge the room, get you guys welcome. Let us know throughout the show if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. We want you guys to have a great time. We want you to enjoy it. And having said that, I'm gonna throw in a little dirty humor. Are you guys okay with that? Yeah. We got an appetite for some dirty humor? Okay. So, someone really wants that dirty humor. And then feel free to take any of this and use it tonight. Have a fun night, okay? I got recently, my girlfriend wasn't up on technology, so I got her an Alexa. And I bought her these cool lights to control the lights. And, I was like, hey, Alexa, lights on, lights off, it works. You can ask Alexa stupid questions. And we were laying in bed cuddling, and I looked at her and I was like, I appreciate you so much because if I was ugly, the lights would be off right now as we're filming. And she looked me in the eyes and said, "Alexa, lights off." That's when technology backfires, okay? Second story, she wanted to surprise me, and she went to Lover's Package and brought home a gift. And she didn't want to tell me what it was. I was like, oh, okay, cool, I'm excited. And I get home, and I open the present, and it's furry handcuffs. I don't know, this is Shelton, so I'm sure there might be a few of y'all, but I don't know if you've been arrested before. Handcuffs are not a turn on for me. I've been arrested. That is not my idea of fun for a night. I was like, no. What happens after being arrested is usually not pleasant. I've been arrested once. But I told her, I said, I got out after 24 hours, so booty stuff and rape fantasies are still on the table. And she's like, yeah, so we had a fun night. All right, you guys took that okay. All right, yeah. There's a couple slower ones in here, yeah. If I would have been in jail longer, those would no longer be on the table, but that's okay, they were off the table. All right, guys, so it's my privilege as your host tonight to, again, encourage you guys to have fun. I'm going to be handing out these cards. We have a real amazing local comedian, brilliance that does a podcast, probably a YouTube cast because I botched that. But he's going to be coming up and giving you something to think on and enjoy. His name is Jeremiah Hughes, so let's give him a round of applause. Jeremiah!
He expected it to be a YouTube podcast. That's insulting, right?